Honorary Treasurer Tarak Bhai Chaya, Honorary Secretary Dr. Manoj Shukla, all the members of the association sitting out here, and members of the media who are also here because of some curiosity to know what is on the table when a police officer is interacting with representatives of business and industry. Well, I'm delighted to be here in the midst of businessmen and entrepreneurs, who's who of this city. And we started with the inauguration of revamped library of Vadodara Management Association. Mukund Purohitji was saying that libraries are increasingly becoming redundant because of the transition that has happened from analog to digital over a period of time. But all of us have grown up visiting libraries, reading books for our academic purposes and also for professional purposes. Books will continue to inspire people with new ideas and also life and times and achievements of people who succeeded in many of their endeavors, and also we will have a perspective regarding various issues which are confronting us and throw fresh ideas in the context of what others have experimented or explored. Now this library will be relevant from three contexts. One, you and me are living in a rapidly changing society today. The technology, the economic policies, the regulatory framework, the legislative, enabling legislative frameworks, and also your day-to-day compliance requirements, etc., keep changing. If you don't keep pace with those changes, probably you will miss out on a number of issues. Second, technology and innovation is the heart of business and industry. Entrepreneurship will not thrive and succeed unless you innovate. And in this interconnected world, what happens in some corner of the world will indeed impact somebody sitting here in Vadodara and doing business. You may be thinking that I am in a domain and I have some USP which gives me so much of market advantage and all that. That may get lost in no time. If you are not aware that something is happening in some other part of the world and you did not realign yourself or refresh your systems to new challenges, then you are bound to fail in that context. Third, many of you may be management professionals, graduates from business schools and all that. None of these business schools or management professionals, academicians are able to teach you what is needed for in the specific context of an industry or a business that you are running. So it will be very, very important to have a understanding of the broader canvas that you are looking at, and also in the specific context of the industry or the business that you are running. So the academicians give you framework, but you will have to fit your industry in that context and run your enterprise successfully to create wealth and succeed. If that has to happen, you need to stay connected with what is happening in other parts of the world or maybe in the neighborhood. In this connected world, there are many disconnected systems which will not give you information unless you are part of a digitally connected world. And I think the physical library and also the digital library, that huge resources that we have, will come handy for all the professionals sitting here who are members of the Vadodara Management Association. So I congratulate you for taking up this issue and basically thinking of students who are also preparing for UPSC, etc., and adding those many additional volumes for making it useful for them to refer and succeed in their endeavor. Now, Dr. Shukla, when he visited me a few days ago, he said I should be coming here, as Mr. Purohit was also referring to, and they were talking about certain issues which are of relevance to the businessmen and corporate executives. I said, we can start with something. They said, maybe cybercrime. I forgot after that. Only 2 days ago, when Tarak Bhai sent me an invitation card, I got to remember that I had agreed with Dr. Shukla and Dr. Tarak Bhai that I will be speaking on cybercrime. It's a small group. I will not be very formal in talking about these issues. So let us be a bit informal in interaction and sharing the ideas. I will put forth a few random thoughts. As we said in the very beginning, we are living in an interconnected world. Today, national boundaries have become virtually irrelevant in the context of the business that we do. The capital, the labor, and the technologies are freely movable. Today, there is a person working here in Vadodara for an IT company, or for that matter, any company. Tomorrow, he may get employed in the US and may choose to move away from here and start working for another company. So is the capital. The investments which are there in India can also fly overnight to another country, maybe Malaysia or Philippines or Indonesia. We don't know the destination. Similarly, the technology. Today, many of the things that we store and use data may be stored on cloud. You don't know where the server is squatting. So from all this perspective today, if you are looking at the world, it is so intricately interwoven and interconnected that it has become too complex to understand. Another thing that has happened over a period of time is internet revolution. Internet, smartphone, and free data has changed the way we lived and did our business. Our relationship today is virtually defined by these three things. Earlier politicians नहीं बोलते रोटी कपड़ा और मकान, आज without mobile चलता नहीं है. That is the kind of scenario that we are living in. So invasive presence of technology in our life, whether it is banking, we don't visit any bank branch. I don't remember having visited a bank branch for years now. I did not even stand before an ATM for the last 2 years. Essentially because you can do business with the click of a button and I need not go. So is the case with insurance. Insurance network has expanded manyfold, but there is hardly any interaction with anybody either to look at our policies, their conditions, and periodic payment of premiums and things like that. Everything happens at the click of a button. So is e-commerce. Many people visit shopping complexes and malls for pleasure and look for certain products which is appealing to them. They select a model, come back and place orders on e-commerce portal. It's quite rampant in many parts of the world today. So are the executives today. Many of us don't. I need not travel to Gandhinagar all the time to attend a meeting. We end up doing it in video conferencing format. And Internet of Things also occupied our life in a big way. Many of these air conditioners or the house appliances can also be remotely controlled and operated today. So the way technology has encroached into our lives is something very, very complex. So world has become increasingly dependent on technology. The benefits are tremendous, and so are the risks. there are high risks in the context of the transformed technological world that we are living today. There is a steep rise in cybercrime over a period of time. Because I come from the enforcement agency side, we are the ones who document, register criminal cases, investigate and take them to court of law for prosecution. The number of cases, the volume of the complaints that we handle is mind-boggling. We need to look at the context. We all started over this journey somewhere in the 1991 with the reforms, financial reforms, liberalization and globalization happening that has changed the way the technology started invading our life dramatically. 20K problem that posed a big challenge to the technological world. That was the time India had plenty of human resources, tech resources, from walking out of various engineering colleges with BE, BTech degrees, expertise and competencies, looking for opportunity. So domestic policy framework, cheap technological manpower, and global demand put together gave us such a boost to the information and communication technology growth in India. Today we call Bengaluru Silicon Valley of India. There is virtually no technology company anywhere in the globe which doesn't have its corporate office in India. That kind of a scene has not happened overnight. It happened over a period of 2 decades. With this new technology and economic architecture propelled by this liberalization and globalization, today has created a robust architecture to enable growth and prosperity. That is why we are achieving a GDP growth of 8% plus for over a decade now, and we are seen as economic powerhouse or global leaders on many of the economic fronts for a period of time. But all these things will happen in isolation? No. Criminals and antisocial elements were operating before. They continue to operate in this changed environment as well. So if the world has adopted to new technology, new opportunities, economic prosperity and growth, so are the criminals, so are the antisocial elements. Over a period of time, they have worked parallelly to maximize their opportunities and growth and profits. Now, as a police officer, I can say with great deal of confidence that virtually every day we get to see new modus operandi. Many years ago, we used to have a limited number of modus operandi. Mostly, it was always hacking, few cases of identity theft, phishing, maybe a few cyberbullying episodes and harassment, periodically malware attacks like ransomware attacks and things like that, and child pornography and spamming and all that. Now, over a period of time, there has been tremendous changes in the context of the socio-economic changes that have come. So we have started looking at investment frauds. Basically, greed for quick money among the citizenry, especially the youth, always looking for easy way to make money, fall prey to these kind of investment frauds. You create an account and then make an initial investment of 1 lakh. It becomes 2 lakhs in 15 days. No bank, no financial institution, no corporate ever offers that kind of growth. So you are immediately attracted by such financial offers. Then you have loan frauds. We are an aspirational society. The young, educated youth is looking for opportunities to invest in something, start a new enterprise, maybe business activity, and again though you are not eligible, when it is available on the cyber platform, you get attracted to that kind of a thing. Then you have new trends like digital arrest. You might have heard of police arresting criminals and antisocial elements quite often. But this digital arrest is a new phenomenon that we have come to see over a period of time. Why it is happening? It's because of many reasons. We have institutions like enforcement agencies like police, Criminal Investigation Department, CID. We have Central Bureau of Investigation. We have Narcotic Control Bureau. Mike down hai kya? We have National Investigation Agency. We have Enforcement Directorate. All kind of investigating agencies operate in the context of different crime. And many of us don't have clear understanding as to what is their domain, what is their mandate, how do they operate, whom do they target. As a responsible citizenry, many of us were expected to be aware of these basic details. But when we have started believing, or what we see on screen is more real than what we experience at home, then you fall prey to these kind of crime. So in the digital arrest, what you see is policemen looking persons appear on the screen. They announce that you are under arrest because something, an objectionable content like a drug or a weapon or some financial misdeeds in your name has been reported. They also cite your Aadhaar card number and things like that, which is readily available in the public domain. If you walk into a hotel, before you walk in, he asks for your Aadhaar card. That is the way we compromise our personal information. He asks for your date of birth. He asks for your employee ID card. All kind of things are scanned and put in his open system, which has no safety mechanism in place to protect it against any kind of leakage and falling into the hands of the criminals and antisocials. So they also cite you such thing. Then they escalate it to next level. If not inspector, then there is ACP, then there is DCP, people coming in different dress codes. You haven't even interacted with the police commissioner. You don't know what an ADG level, ADG rank officer wears on his shoulder. Then you are confused and you tend to believe that a Maharashtra police looking man claiming to be member of Narcotics Control Bureau or a Telangana police logo wearing fellow claiming that he is from the Central Bureau of Investigation, and you don't even know that CBI officials don't wear uniform, then you are vulnerable. Then you succumb to such threats and intimidation. So people end up paying money by transferring again from the mobile phone instruments, internet banking tools, and you end up being cheated by such dishonest elements. It's not just a set of criminals who are doing all this. There is a bigger game which is part of the cybercrime world. There are many actors, threat actors. You are aware nation states are also part of such threats being posed. You must have heard cyber warfare. Gone are the days when you wielded guns and stood face to face and started fighting. Those kind of warfares are the history, part of the history today. Either sophisticated missile attacks and all that, they are the order of the day. Otherwise, more sophisticated financial crimes and cyber crimes are the orders of the day. Now, you have heard of several countries. It will not be fair on my part to take any country's name, but you know that these state actors sitting in different corners of the world are targeting certain nation states, their economy, their technological architecture, and try to hit them in a big way. Cyber criminals, when we talk about criminals, you think, what is the idea that comes to your mind? The other day, one senior officer got hit by the cybercrime. He was talking to me, and I said, after listening to him, it was apparent that it's a case of cyber fraud. I said, sir, please don't respond to those calls. It's a cyber fraud. Keep quiet. That's all that you need to do. Block that number and stay safe. If he uses another number and comes back to you, you can just ask him, shut up and close your conversation at that. His idea, he spoke in English, fantastic English and all that. Look at the idea of criminals that is there in our mind. Our mindset is criminals are tribals or some people living in juggi jhopdis targeting some so-called elite housing complexes, committing house breaks, robberies and dacoities, and when they are caught and produced before the court or when police flashes their photograph, you get to say frail looking, poor or malnourished person walk into the lockup or jail. That is not the story. Today, cyber criminals are white collar criminals. Many of them are BTech, MTech, BCA, MCA, having tremendous knowledge of technology and systems. They have a fairly good idea as to how your business operates, or for that matter, your entity performs. Where is your market? What are the raw material or ready products that you are pushing in market? Every detail is known to them. This transition has been happening for a long time. Some 20 years ago, when I delivered lecture in some National Forensic, Gujarat Forensic Science University, I had said there is a transition पुलिस ऑफिसरों માટે પણ उस समय मैं कहा था कि चड्डी बनियानधारी अभी सूट बूटधारी हो गया है। अभी उस समय जो 10 तोला 15 तोला ज्वेलरी के लिए चोरी करते थे, आज डे लाइट रॉबरी मल्टी मिलियन रुपीस का स्कैम करते हैं, बीइंग पर्सन्स लुकिंग लाइक यू एंड मी, सूट बूट में, सोफिस्टिकेटेड अंग्रेजी बोलने वाले हैं। जो रस्टिक लुकिंग पुअर बंदे का जो आपका मन में इमेज था, दे आर ऑल गॉन। टुडे इट इज़ नॉट द नीड बेस्ड क्राइम वेयर गरीबों ने कुछ अपना नीड के लिए 10 तोला सोना का ज्वेलरी का हाउस ब्रेकिंग किया। टुडे ये अपना अनसशिएबल हंगर फॉर मनी एंड वेल्थ, दैट इज ड्राइविंग these kind of crime. Then there are another set of players or the actors called hacktivists, hack karna. These are essentially ideological groups. They advocate free access to information, no secrecy, everything should be in the open domain. Why are you creating silos and empires and all that? It should be, I will crack you if you don't let me access it. You know? So that kind of approach. Another set of people are terror groups. There are any number of terrorist organizations who propound or practice violence. So they indulge in disruption of the system, create havoc, many a times induce violence by using these platforms. Then another set of actors called thrill seekers. There are people who get a kick out of doing something wrong to the organization or the system or the governmental organizations and things like that. So large number of them, they are highly educated people, look as if they are in the midst of the society, rubbing shoulders with the rich and elite, and people occupying key positions. But their agenda is essentially to damage the systems. Then you have insiders. Many a times, it's very, very relevant to someone like you who are running big business entities, corporates, and you hire a lot of people. You also fire them. Occasionally, you drop people unceremoniously, targeting them because they did something dirty, or you are suspicious of certain activities of these individuals which may be impacting your business or corporate activities. So they do it once they get out, or many a times while being there, I am denied of a promotion, I thought I was due for that, but you ended up promoting somebody else, XYZ. So I'm aggrieved. Now I shall take revenge by doing certain things, playing mischief with the systems and damaging or disrupting your technological architecture in whatever manner he or she can do. So these insiders are also a big threat. So collectively, these many actors are causing what is called cybercrime ecosystem, where multiple actors are active on several fronts, leading to these kind of impact on business, on industry, on society, on individuals. So today, if you look at the amount of loss caused globally by the cybercrime, either by way of stealing data, committing certain kind of crimes, hacking your website, maliciously accessing your data and information, and damaging your tech architecture. You have heard of what happened to NHS in UK. A few years ago, their national health system was impacted. The data was stolen. Some time ago, a leading nationalized bank and subsequently another scheduled commercial bank data was also accessed. So these kind of crime cause huge financial losses to the entities and also to the individuals. Why we are in this kind of a situation? As I told you, the momentum for technological advancement, which was picked up way back in 1991, probably in the last two and a half decades, the kind of policy responses that should have been there, with the commensurate with the pace of technological growth, probably that did not happen. It was only in the year 2000 that we came up with the IT Act 2000. That was basically catered to facilitate e-commerce by digital signature and all that. Chunk of it is meant for regulating e-commerce system, and a small part was meant for dealing with cybercrime. And we had no national cybersecurity policy till the year 2013. We ended up operating in some kind of a absence of core policy response to these kind of emerging threats. Because as you move forward with the technology walking in, unless you respond adequately with these systems and policies, the gaps can impact you hugely. Then if that is the story, then how to deal with them? Today, we are in a situation which calls for tremendous amount of response on the part of the government, on the part of the business and corporates, and also on the part of now non-governmental systems, academia, the people and the organizations. The Government of India and Government of Gujarat have responded, as I told you, by enacting the Information Technology Act 2000. It was one of the major initiatives, as I mentioned, towards building a regulated cyber ecosystem or IT infrastructure or IT system in the country. Then we came up with this National Cyber Security Policy in the year 2013. We fairly defined what are our goals. If these are the set of risks, this is the journey we seek to adopt. And we also came up with the National Cyber Security Strategy in the year 2020. This again is at a higher level, strategy level, at the national strategy to deal with something like this. Government of India ended up creating a position even for an IPS officer in Ministry of External Affairs. My own batchmate was there as Joint Secretary Cyber Crime for over 4 years. So they realized that it need to be interwoven with the diplomatic relationship, and it should be taken to that level to make it possible for the nation as a whole to respond to these challenges. Then at the enforcement level, we got a Computer Emergency Response Team, we call it CERT India, CERTIN. And it was a team of officers and experts sitting in Delhi, catering to the enforcement agencies as and when required. They had the expertise. They also got several nodal officers, etc., appointed in certain kind of entities, whether it is Facebook, whether it is X, whether it is other platforms where we need to liaise and get access to certain information. It was made possible. Today we have something called I4C, which is essentially Indian Cybercrime Coordination Center. That's again, now they have brought it under the MHA. It has a threat analysis unit. Constantly they are weighing what is happening on the cyber crime front and what kind of threat to various members in the ecosystem that is being analyzed. Then we have Cyber Training Center within the I4C, which caters to the state police and other entities who are part of the enforcement team. We also have National Cybercrime Coordination Portal, because a lot of calls originate from different geographical parts of the country. Something happens in a person is from Vadodara is touring Delhi, and something happens to him there, which is a jurisdiction. This is a crime where there is a lot of jurisdictional issues, right? The victim, the criminal, the technological architecture, they are all located in different national territories. And then there need to be sophisticated system to register, take cognizance, investigate, detect, and take the people to the court of law. So that is something very, very difficult exercise that we are in. Then we have Innovation Center, which constantly it is kind of an R&D effort. Then we have Joint Cybercrime Cooperation Team. So multiple agencies have been brought under a platform to make it possible for the enforcement teams to respond to a variety of things. Cybercrime Ecosystem Management Unit, wherein it's not just IT companies. There are IT companies which provide you solution. There are people like you who are the ones who are buying these software solutions for meeting your requirements. So there are users. There are people who are intermediates who are selling, providing operational support, operation and maintenance, and all kind of things. Then you have Cybercrime Forensic Science Investigation Laboratory. That was something lacking for a while. Many of the states like Gujarat is fairly well-off state, developed state. We have reasonably good Directorate of Forensic Science Laboratory. We are the one and the only state having National Forensic Science University, having tremendous ability to train and deploy people in forensic science. And of course, the Directorate of Forensic Science Laboratory in Gujarat also has forensic, mobile forensic and digital forensic laboratory, having all kind of capability to investigate and give opinion in the context of any crime that has been committed. And then there is, they extend basically all kind of support to the enforcement agencies to register cases, investigate and detect. There is also an effort on the part of the I4C to bring academia, non-governmental organizations and industry, people like you to be part of that. Earlier NASSCOM used to be an agency. They were a group of people who had come together to create create capacity among the enforcement agencies to register and investigate criminal cases. They helped several police organizations across the country to set up cyber labs and all that. So there is a fantastic facility available in Bengaluru supported by NASSCOM. Similarly, many of the states also have that kind of setup. Today in Gujarat, over a period of time, of course, we went with an agenda that we will build robust capacity to investigate cybercrime cases. So today we have cyber cells or cybercrime police stations in all the 4 big cities, that is Ahmedabad, Surat, Vadodara and Rajkot. And in all the district headquarters, there is one cybercrime police station. Even a small district like Dang has one, of course with limited manpower, because their requirement is also limited. So they are also having police officers. Alongside, we have taken people on outsourced or contract basis to enable or assist the police officers in the investigation. We have a lot of experts and toolkits and software support systems to assist in the investigation of criminal cases. In the last budget, Government of Gujarat came up with the Trishul project with an objective to build capacity for data security, for registration and investigation, and capacity building by way of onboarding domain experts, cybercrime experts, about 98 of them from different streams, and also some data call center operators to receive calls, quickly assess what kind of threat it poses, where to forward it, and things like that. In Vadodara city itself, we have a cybercrime cell with all these toolkits and support systems and all that. Last year, we were able to investigate sizable number of cases, 45 plus cases, and we were able to recover in excess of 27 crores and return it to the victims. The other day, we entered into an MOU with MS University Engineering faculty as well. Idea was to join hands with the academia and exchange our capabilities and build an ecosystem here in the city to meet the needs of 30 lakh people or residents of Vadodara city. So we have been making these kind of efforts to create a robust infrastructure to deal with cybercrime. Where are we heading if this kind of a ecosystem and the crime being what it is? As I mentioned, it is a borderless crime. So criminals, the victims, the technology architecture is located in different nationalities many a times. It calls for basically a great deal of coordinated effort on the part of the enforcement agencies to make it possible for us. Second is high volume. अगर आप देखेंगे अपना जो साइबर क्राइम कोऑर्डिनेशन पोर्टल में हजारों कंप्लेंट्स हर रोज़ लॉन्च होते हैं. 1930 करके एक हेल्पलाइन है, हजारों कंप्लेंट्स आते हैं, तो उसका वॉल्यूम इज़ माइंड बॉगलिंग. हम लोग जो क्रिमिनल केसेस दाखिल करके इन्वेस्टिगेट कर रहे हैं, दैट इज़ मेनी टाइम्स अपने को लगता है टिप ऑफ द आइसबर्ग है. अपना कैपेसिटी नीड टू बी एनहांस्ड मेनी फोल्ड रैपिडली. And of course, Government of Gujarat is seized with this issue. That's the reason why we created this kind of Trishul, a separate vertical within the CID for investigation of cybercrime and all that. And it also calls for international cooperation. International cooperation because right now with the kind of law that we have, bringing offender from America to India, etc., are a difficult task. You know, there is a mutual legal assistance treaty in place with many countries, but cybercrime is not one of those crimes regarding which you might not have heard of somebody being extradited for that. So Interpol, which is a global entity for coordination of enforcement agencies, has created a mechanism to prevent, detect, investigate, and disrupt cybercrime which is happening transnationally. Borderless entities sitting somewhere in Paris or in Bangkok or New York or somewhere and committing something here in India, that needs to be dealt at a different level, and hence they have created a separate vertical. And within India, we have I4C, and then CID crime is our nodal point at the Gujarat level, and we in the field units, cyber cells are the last mile responding units. So together we deliver something. But with the advent of artificial intelligence and generative machine learning, with the entry of chatbot and all that, it's making a huge stride, and in no time probably it will occupy chunk of the space that we have. You must be reading in the threat it poses, the opportunity it has created. So one of the threat is also this deep fake. What fake news has been there for over a decade now. Earlier there used to be morphing of photographs and some video clips and all that. Today, the artificial intelligence and machine learning platform gives tremendous amount of capacity to create anybody's video clip and imitate anybody's voice and make it real for somebody that Dr. Shukla is talking to Tarak Bhai, and you can't resist from believing what he is talking. So deep fake and voice cloning are the disruptive technologies which are entering in a big way, and we as investigating agencies and you as users and members of the cyber ecosystem, technology ecosystem, we need to be concerned about it. How do we as a nation figure today on this front? There is something called the Global Cyber Security Index 2024. It is annually published by ITU, which is a UN organization, basically an old organization of telecommunication unit. But they have, with the telecommunication morphing into ICT, they have also brought or started looking at these issues. So they look at a country's robustness to deal with cyber issues from 5 pillars. One is legal ecosystem that you have created. I spoke about IT Act and the policy frameworks that have come and all. Organizational capacity that you have built. I spoke about MEA, MHA, various investigating agencies and their capacity. Capacity building, training, equipping ourselves with toolkits and ability to deter, detect and target these people is something very, very important. साथ में cooperation, I said Interpol is taking the lead. CBI in India is our Interpol India. As per this index, India figures in the Tier 1. They have Tier 1 city, Tier 2 countries, Tier 3 countries. Like Tier 1 is the most secure environment from these 5 pillars analysis. There are a dozen parameters on which each of the countries are evaluated. So we should, going by the legal framework and the organizational setup and the capacity that we have today, we are out of the 194 member countries, we figured in the top 46 countries, that is Tier 1 countries in terms of cyber security. So the Government of India has not stopped at that. They have come up with the Digital Personal Data Protection Act 2023. You heard it some times ago. It came, then it was referred to a parliamentary standing committee and all that. After standing scrutiny by these committees, today it has become a law. They have published the rules, draft rules after a long time. Now it is available in the domain, public domain, for their comments. So you can also take a look at it, and it will have a huge implication for the protection of personal data, digital personal data, whether it is Aadhaar, bank account details, and many other personal details. And we are, as I am talking to you, who are representatives of business and industry, I would like to say, with this emerging trend, you will have huge impact in the coming days. You will be one of those who will be at the front end of receiving the impact, and hence a small episode of cyber fraud on a small scale industry can impact it so hugely that it can perish. They may not be able to stand up and withstand that kind of this thing, because it impacts your integrity of your whole setup. It takes away your brand, it's compromised. It will also impact your credibility, because you kept on claiming that I have strong systems and fantastic production solutions for you, and you failed to defend that claim, and hence you lost your credibility, and your viability will also go with that, because you can't sustain in a competitive market when many of these things are compromised. Then how to live in this ecosystem? You need to be aware of the risk. I don't know, I can't list out these are the risks today because it's evolving, constantly changing ecosystem wherein you need to assess, reassess every day to know what kind of threats are being posed to my entity, your corporate in a specific context, your business. But remember, many times नहीं बोलता है, अपना तारक भाई क्लेम करता है कि मेरा कंपनी हम इम्यून है, अपने को कुछ नहीं होने वाला. You will be wrong. None of the entities are immune to these kind of systems. With the kind of expansion that we are witnessing, none of you will be able to claim that I shall succeed without getting into these issues. So please factor in cyber security as a cost. Many times हम बहुत कुछ लैंड खरीदने के लिए, प्लांट एंड मशीनरी के लिए, सुरक्षा के लिए कुछ नहीं. कभी कभी 2 गार्ड रख देते हैं. एक हमने जो चप्पल पहन के आया है, 3 बटन खुले हैं, 4 दिन से शेव नहीं करता है, जो बंदा आपके सामने अपीयर करे, ही इज़ नाइदर ए डेटरेंट टू ए क्रिमिनल नॉर एन इम्प्रेसिव पर्सन टू स्टैंड बिफोर ए बिजनेसमैन. उस तरह का सिक्योरिटी साइबर सिक्योरिटी के लिए तो मैच ही नहीं है. वैसे फिजिकल सिक्योरिटी आपका इस प्रकार का हो, देन साइबर सिक्योरिटी आपको डिफरेंट लेवल पे, डिफरेंट, अगर क्रिटिकल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर हो, रोबस्ट एक्सेस कंट्रोल मेजर होना चाहिए. इट्स अ नेटवर्क सिक्योरिटी, strong firewall systems and things like that are necessary. If it is application security, reviewing your code security periodically will become a necessity. If it is cloud security and all that, there are new concepts like tokenization and all. You need to cater to those things. If it is data security, then data marking, etc., are the best practices that you need to stick to. Stay safe in this kind of a thing. That is my parting remark. Only thing you and me can do is to be aware of the risk, recognizing that there is a risk emanating from this sector, and I need to prepare myself to navigate through and run my business or corporate activities without being hit by cybercrime is something very, very important. To do that, you need to have, one, stay in control of your information. Data is key. Today, data is your asset. Without data, मेरे पास 450 एकड़ का लैंड है, रियल एस्टेट है, मेरे पास 5,000 करोड़ का हमने प्लांट एंड मशीनरी लगाई, ठीक है. नहीं साहब, मेरा तो बहुत बड़ा एंटिटी है, 5,000 कर्मचारी काम करते हैं, सब कुछ है, लेकिन अगर आपका डेटा कॉम्प्रोमाइज है, इंफॉर्मेशन कॉम्प्रोमाइज है, आपका कंपनी डूबने में ज़्यादा टाइम नहीं लगेगा. दूसरा, कंट्रोल ऑफ योर एक्शंस. एज आई टोल्ड यू, अभी बहुत सारे इंडिविजुअल लेवल पे एंड कॉर्पोरेट लेवल पे हम लोग जब बातें करते हैं तो वी डोंट थिंक ट्वाइस. अगर मेरा इंस्पेक्टर लोग बैठे हैं, अगर मैंने बोला, मेरा आवाज़ से उन्होंने सुना, तो कमिश्नर का आदेश पालन करना ही होगा. ये कोमार साहब बोल रहे हैं, अपने को करना है. नहीं करना है, उसके पहले यकीन तो करो कि किसने बोला है. कमिश्नर का आदेश पालन करना है. डिड कमिश्नर स्पीक टू यू और इज इट अ क्लोन वॉइस? आई एम टेलिंग यू इन दैट कॉन्टेक्स्ट. तो थिंक ट्वाइस इज द अप्रोच, आपको हमेशा काम आएगा. और आपका इंडिविजुअल लेवल पे, कम्युनिटी लेवल पे एंड कॉर्पोरेट लेवल पे एंड ग्लोबल लेवल पे जो सिनारियो इवॉल्व हो रही है, दैट ईच वन ऑफ यू शुड स्टे अलाइव टू, एंड आपका रिस्पॉन्सेस आर टू बी गार्डेड एंड यू शुड बी इन कंट्रोल ऑफ व्हाट यू डू. अभी किसी ने बोला पैसा जमा कर दो, इट्स ईजी टू, और किसी ने बोला आपका पिन दे दीजिए बिकॉज आई एम द बैंक मैनेजर ऑफ बैंक ऑफ बड़ौदा. You need to ascertain whether that person is bona fide. The transaction that is being sought to be completed is something that you should be doing. and the amount that is being transacted, is it legitimate? Some of these questions should keep appearing. तो लास्ट में इतना कहूँगा, in the digital world we have started trusting screen more than home, as I told you. That looks more real. We are getting impersonal. We are not talking to family, consulting friends and well-wishers, and relying more on what is appearing on WhatsApp and things like that, without going into the background, the context, the legitimacy of that being circulated. We are likely to be fooled and defrauded. Please stay guarded against these criminal and dishonest elements in the system who are perpetrating these kind of crime to run your system in a ecosystem and maximize your returns, or you are the wealth creator, of course, that is your goal. अगर उस लक्ष्य के साथ आप निकलते हो और इस प्रिकॉशंस को ध्यान में रखते हो, मैं मानता हूँ आपको सफलता मिलेगी। तो आज का गणतंत्र दिवस के शुभ अवसर पर आपने मेरे को इधर बुलाया और राष्ट्र निर्माण में जुड़े हुए बिजनेसमैन एंड कॉर्पोरेट्स को आप इस प्लेटफॉर्म पे इकट्ठा किए, और इस एक इम्पॉर्टेंट इश्यूज़ पे वी वर एबल टू टॉक एंड डिस्कस सर्टन threats that are being emanated and how to deal with that. If it is useful, I am sure कि अपना जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल स्पिरिट है, एक सुदृढ़ राष्ट्र बनाने की कल्पना है, उस दिशा में ये भी एक इम्पॉर्टेंट कंट्रीब्यूशन होगा। थैंक यू। थैंक्स।